Let's talk about what else is interesting here. And I want to thank Safa Karu. So it's thanks to him that we're getting this video.
You walk into this room at your own risk, because it leads to the future. Not a future that will be, but one that might be. This is not a new world. It is simply an extension of what began in the old one. It has patterned itself after every dictator who has ever planted the ripping imprint of a boot on the pages of history since the beginning of time. It has refinements, technological advances, and a more sophisticated approach to the destruction of human freedom. But like every one of the superstates that preceded it, it has one iron rule. Logic is an enemy and truth is a menace. Any state, any entity, any ideology that fails to recognize the worth, the dignity, the rights of man, that state is obsolete.
This is television, that's all it is. It's nothing to do with people, it's to do with the ratings. For 50 years, we've told them what to eat, what to drink, what to wear. For Christ's sake, Ben, don't you understand? Americans love television. They wean their kids on it. Listen, they love game shows, they love wrestling, they love sports, violence. So what do? We give them what they want.
Does it raise ethical questions about the use of government money to produce stories about the government that wind up being aired with no disclosure that they were produced by the government?
There is a Justice Department opinion that says these pieces are within the law so long as they're based upon facts, not advocacy. And I expect our agencies to adhere to that ruling, to that Justice Department opinion. This has been a long-standing practice of the federal government to use these types of videos. Agricultural Department, as I understand, has been using these videos for a long period of time. The Defense Department, other departments have been doing so. It's important that they be based upon the guidelines set out by the Justice Department. Now, I think it'd be helpful if local stations then disclose to their viewers if that's, that this was based upon a factual report and they chose to use it. But evidently in some cases that's not the case. So anyway.
To guarantee that's happening by including that language in the prepackaged report.
Yeah, I don't, look, oh, you mean a disclosure? I'm George W. Bush and I...
Well, some way to make sure it couldn't air without the disclosure that you believe is so vital.
Ken, I mean, there's a procedure that we're going to follow, and the local stations ought to, if there's a deep concern about that, ought to tell their viewers what they're watching.
And my reason for this, is for one that you may share, possibly. I have a very low tolerance level for stupid bullshit. That's all. Stupid bullshit. Tell the truth. Don't be bullshitting people. Like I say, there's enough bullshit as it is. There's enough bullshit as it is. In fact, there's just enough. Did you know that? There's just enough bullshit to hold things together in this country. Bullshit is the glue that binds us as a nation. Where would we be without our safe, familiar American bullshit?
Anything, so there you go. You know my problem? I watch too much news, man. That's my problem. That's why I'm so depressed all the time. I figured it out. I watch too much CNN, man. I don't know if you've ever sat around and watched CNN longer than, say, 20 hours in one day. I don't recommend that. Watch CNN headline news for 1 hour. It's the most depressing thing you'll ever fucking do. War, famine, death, AIDS, homeless, recession, depression. War, famine, death, AIDS, homeless. Then you look out your window. Where's all this shit happening? Ted Turner's making this shit up, man.
Jeffrey Kaufman has the latest from the mountains of Chile.
Again today, the families were lighting candles and saying prayers for the 33 husbands, fathers, and sons they have not seen for 3 weeks.
Overnight, very sad story here. All 33 miners trapped underground in China following a gas explosion found dead. That according to Chinese state media.
At least 33 people were killed, 35 injured, and scores went missing after flood hit Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province of Pakistan.
The cries of babies welcomed Pope Francis when he was to baptize 33 children in the Sistine Chapel. In his homily, he explained that the Word of God is the best gift that parents can give their children. That's why he encouraged them to read the Gospel.
January 30th, 1933, a torchlight parade through the streets of Berlin declared to the world that Adolf Hitler had become Chancellor of Germany.
This is how Simpson looks today, serving a 33-year prison sentence in Nevada for kidnapping and robbery. Garcetti says Simpson got a raw deal.
The 33 years that he received for what he did, that doesn't seem to be justice either. I don't feel sorry for him that he's behind bars, but 33 years is doesn't appear to be the appropriate sentence for the crime.
France and other forces target the ISIS stronghold of Raqqa and kill at least 33 militants. The UK-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said on Wednesday, November 18th, that the militants were killed when airstrikes hit checkpoints around the Syrian city. The observatory believes more than 33 militants were killed. However, an exact figure couldn't be given due to the state of the bodies.
But when you talk about apology, I think the one that you should really be apologizing for, and the thing that you should be apologizing for, are the 33,000 emails that you deleted and that you acid washed. And then the 2 boxes of emails and other things last week that were taken from an office and are now missing.
In South Carolina has returned a 33-count indictment against Dylan Storm Ruth, charging him with federal hate crimes and firearms charges for killing and attempting to kill African-American parishioners at Emmanuel African Methodist Episcopal Church in Charleston, South Carolina.
From Lanfranc Secondary Modern School went the bodies of 33 boys and 1 master who died when their plane crashed into a mountain in Norway.
An ancient Egyptian coffin was found in the Jezreel Valley area of Israel, along with a golden scarab that has the seal of Pharaoh Seti I and other artifacts from around 3,300 years ago.
King Tut's tomb may have more mysteries to reveal. Egypt's antiquities minister says the famous burial place could contain concealed chambers. The claim comes as the result of high-resolution images of the 3,300-year-old mausoleum.
I had a chance to talk to President-elect Trump last night, about 3:30 in the morning, I think it was, to congratulate him on winning the election.
But wait, there's more. Hang on to your seat, baby, because this one's a screamer.
This morning, the door-to-door investigation begins. Health officials, including a crew from the Centers for Disease Control, now in Dallas, in search of anyone who may have come in contact with the first patient diagnosed with Ebola in the United States.
It appears that there is more and more fire and smoke enveloping the very top of the building, and as fire crews are descending on this area, it does not appear that there's any kind of an effort up there yet. Now remember, oh my God.
Oh my God.
That looks like a second plane.
I did not see a plane go in. That just exploded.
We just saw another plane coming in from the side.
Okay, if you'll please publish the verdict.
In the Circuit Court of the 18th Judicial Circuit in and for Seminole County, Florida, State of Florida versus George Zimmerman. Verdict: we, the jury, find George Zimmerman not guilty. So say we all foreperson.
Does either side want to poll the jury?
We would, Your Honor.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as
new developments tonight on the death of Tamir Rice. That's the 12-year-old boy who was shot and killed by a Cleveland police officer last month. Now, the medical examiner today ruling Tamir Rice's death a homicide. Police say Rice was pointing a pellet gun at people shortly before the officers pulled up and shot him. They mistook that pellet gun for a real firearm. Between when they drove up and he was killed was about 1.5 seconds. It happened in the blink of an eye.
Damage estimate, $200 million and rising. 4,000 National Guard troops have joined the contingent of police and California Highway Patrol officers on the streets. More are on the way. A few hours ago, the man who's become the unwilling symbol of this outbreak of violence decided it was time to speak out. Rodney King appealed for peace.
I just want to say, can we all get along? Can we get along?
Quickly, CNN joins affiliate in Oklahoma City, KFOR, to bring you the latest that they're having live updates on this explosion that's happened at the federal court building in downtown Oklahoma City.
We are a block from where the blast occurred, and they are just treating people here on the side of the road about a block away.
I have certain rules I live by. My first rule, I don't believe anything the government tells me. Nothing.